This is becoming a professional bass player. My name's Deborah and this is the video journal of my career transition. Let's turn this off. Oh. Now that was Michael Jackson's It's the Falling in Love. Unarguably the hardest bass line in the set that I have to play tomorrow. Yes, we're here the day before. I have to thank you guys and the chaps at Talking Low for helping me with my bass playing. So you might have noticed there that as I was playing that, my finger is no longer stuck behind the top string to try and mute it. You brought that to my attention, and I had a look at what Susie Quattro does. She sticks her thumb. I noticed her thumb is stuck out like that so she can hold her hand over the strings. So I've been trying that, and actually it makes it sound better. It really does. Thank you. And the other thing I've been able to do is sort my pedals out, thanks to Joe Southwell. He came up with a good answer for that. That sorted that out, and I'm going to make a little short about that, a little quiz as to what the answer was. And finally, also, not because so many people have helped me on this journey, but particularly talking about sound, I now have my Sans amp, which is a little preamp pedal. And that was recommended to me by Alex Moore. And my friend Dan Ogus said to me, what most people don't do, Deborah, is read the instructions. And I've fallen into that camp of most people because I haven't read them either. And it just popped into my mind today because I've been thinking about how to make, because I've been able to practice so much, I've been thinking more about sound. Your ear starts to move on to different things. And I want to make sure my bass is sounding right. So I've been experimenting with all the different, I've got knobs on my guitar and I've got knobs on the preamp. I don't know that I'm going to be using my amp. So I just had a look, and even with this, it says, even just the first page, what caught my eye, I still haven't read it yet, but is a button called mid shift and bass shift. And I thought, oh gosh, what the heck are those? And it says bass shift switch changes the frequency from 40 hertz in the up position to 80 hertz to accommodate 5 and 6 string basses that extend into the lower registers. So I'm going to sneeze. So I do need this. I do need to look at that so that it can get the right sound, because I have a 6-string bass. So I'm going to read that later, look at that. It's not exactly War and Peace, is it? I think I'll be able to get through that. So thank you, Dan, for that tip. I'll do that. Things are going really well. And one of the things that's really helping me to look forward to the event on Saturday is that piece of work I did with my therapist earlier in the week. I've listened to her advice and I've put my playing at the centre of what I'm doing. It's really exciting. Later in the week, I realised that I've got to a point in this journey where playing the bass is what I should be doing. It's my work. And I was just so happy about that when I realised it. Because I'd been treated, it's funny how, this whole path is about taking me in a direction I want to be going in, but it's so curious how we can work against ourselves. So I had been putting all of the other jobs before playing the bass, because I'm so used to playing the bass being a treat. And you have a treat when you've done all your jobs. But the truth is, particularly with an event like Divine Funk's Immersive Disco, or with housework, or with children, there's always another job you can be doing. Don't get me wrong, you've got to get the essentials done, but there's always more you can be doing. And what I was finding was that the job, I was trying to crack through the list, and little things and big things just kept getting added to it, and I was getting further and further away from playing the bass. And having worked against that this week, I've spent most of the week, apart from seeing my clients and doing what I needed to do in the house, playing the bass. Oh my goodness, that feeling is back that I had at jazz school, that comfortable feeling in my body. It feels really good to spend that time playing the bass. And it's enabled me to start getting into the pleasure of what we're creating on Saturday night, and to realise that this is where I am, this is what I should be doing. When I speak to the guys at Talking Low, they get up every morning, have a coffee or have you, welcome themselves into the day, but then they get on with their bass playing. They do an exercise that stretches their fingers, and warms them up. They have a look at what they've got to learn for that week, and that's my job now. I don't have to feel guilty about it, or like someone's going to come along and say, oh, are you going to hang that washing up? If my husband comes down to the shed and looks through the office window and sees me playing the bass rather than talking to a client, I'm allowed to be doing that. It's just great. But I haven't neglected the other things on the list. And actually, speaking of my lovely husband, who does a lot of the housework, to be fair, he is going to be door dolly on Saturday. So we've just been getting the reception area ready and making that look beautiful, putting up some of those lovely VIP ropes so that different areas, because there's the pub is on the bottom floor. Across the whole of the top, which is very big, is another bar and the function room, which is together is really very big, and that's what we have. And then above that are the landlord's apartments. So we need those roped off, and so that people don't go up there. I've been looking at the upstairs bathrooms, which really, it's a big pub, and it's been a neglected gem in the crown of Southend's music venues and venues in general, because it's a beautiful Victorian building and you can't get it all done at once. The upstairs loos are very clean, but very dilapidated and broken down. There were squatters in the building for quite a long time. So although it's clean, it's not pleasant. And actually, as I've been thinking about it, that is rather reminiscent of New York in 1975. It was sort of glamorous and run down at the same time. Nonetheless, I don't want it to look too terrible, or the magic of disco heaven to be completely broken when people go to the bathroom. So I was there last night, painting, giving the floors another clean. I've put some stickable wallpaper up to cover some of the broken tiles, putting in some mirror tiles, just sort of gussying it up a little bit so that it's nice for our guests. Martha has made these beautiful chandeliers. Now, I've got a preliminary video that just shows you one layer of what she's done, but they are 3 tiers and they're just exquisite. They're going to really create the right atmosphere, but it's all down to finishing touches now. So flowers, scent, a feedback box. So we're going to have a data capture box that Martha's working on, a curtain so that when you go up the stairs, you know that you are going into a different place. What else have I got here? I've got to put some light on my swan's wings, obviously. Yeah. So lots of little jobs to do, but I'm looking forward to it. I really feel happy that I'm doing this. So the next time I speak to you, for good or for ill, and I think it's going to be good. We'll have done it. We'll have had our first residency at the railway. Welcomed our guests on a big scale for the first time. Obviously, we've done it 3 times before, but this is the first time it's been a really big one. And no doubt there'll be lots of feedback, but I would really hope that our guests and our musicians and dancers and our sound team enjoy themselves and, you know, feel the love. You take care. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for lots of you have sent in good wishes and good luck. And I really appreciate that. And I pass those on to the band. So thank you very, very much. And I will see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.